Uganda Airlines is celebrating 1 year since it was revived 18 years after it had made its last flight. And tonight with us in studio we have Mr. Conwell Mulea, the Chief Executive Officer of the Uganda Airlines, talk to us about the one last year and what lies ahead for the national carrier. Good to have you, Mr. Mulea.
Thank you very much.
Well, for starters, give us an overview of the first year.
I think the first year has been a momentous one. We started with nothing, as you know, with just a plan. And we have taken the plan from paper, we have acquired aircraft, brought in systems, established premises for working premises, we have got aircraft. And most importantly, we have now a brand which everybody can recognize worldwide.
Okay.
So that is a great achievement.
That is quite interesting. Let's look at the projected growth earlier on before COVID-19. How has COVID-19 affected the operations of the airline and the projections with earlier made?
Yeah, the first year we were on course to establish at least 18 regional routes, which we wanted to cut across Africa to connect Uganda. By March, we had connected to 9 routes out of the 18 that we are targeting. So we have a long way to go yet for the first year. So COVID-19 has somewhat halted our plans, and we are going to be restarting from that point.
And what are the plans after the resumption of the full services, and when might that be?
In terms of when it might be, it depends when the airports are and markets are open worldwide. Okay. In addition to what we are seeing as a problem in terms of transmissions, the industry itself is in crisis. So it requires funding, it requires support, it requires coordination in terms of the new processes that we are looking at. And the main challenge is, even if we are able to mount the flights, we can start flying tomorrow. But will the passengers be there? Will they be comfortable to fly? And what new regulations have come across all the airports in terms of the testing for clients who come through the airports? Is it going to be done only on arrival or on departure or on both? That requires equipment to be put in place to ensure that travel is seamless across the board.
We are very excited to have Uganda Airlines. Ugandans watching these from the Middle East or Dubai or Kuwait, they've had challenges of late with regards to repatriation flights back. Many of them were complaining online that the tickets were quite expensive. In relation to where we're seeing the aviation going in the region, are we looking at better rates for citizens or residents?
I think we are dealing with a very unique situation, which we have not seen before anywhere. The issue is there are additional costs in terms of the restrictions during this period. We have unprecedented airport costs which we have to pay. We have health risks that we have to mitigate. So that's why the repatriation tickets have been somewhat a little bit more expensive. And also, in addition to that, it is only one way. For example, when we go to repatriate people from South Africa, we are not allowed to put people on board to go to South Africa. So it
operationally, it gets
absolutely operationally it becomes very challenging indeed.
Well, let's talk about earlier on the plans were to have the Bombardier and then the Boeing. How far the preparations or the plans with regard to the Boeing? Are they even coming?
Yes, indeed. The Bombardier is the core, as you know. It's the core fleet, and people have enjoyed it. It's an aircraft that flies well and suited to regional travel.
Airbus. About the Airbus.
The Airbus is coming in December. We are on course on that. The shareholder, which is the government, has already set out the funds to pay for the balances that remain. We have been working very hard to recruit the staff and put in the structures and systems required to fly that aircraft.
What is happening with the staff in the work that COVID-19 doesn't allow Uganda Airline to fly? What are they doing? Are you training them or something is happening?
Yes, there are numerous trainings that are going on, but there is a lot of work behind the scenes. If I say, for example, when we are starting with all the routes we are to operate, we have many contracts across all the airports. And at those airports, some people may have gone out of business as a result of COVID-19. So we have to retrace back all the contracting that we have to do. So which means renegotiating, assessing, looking who is there, what services are we going to put in place. And then we have new measures in terms of sanitization, disinfection, as well as passenger processing at all these airports.
Okay.
That requires people, that requires new contracts to be established. That is what we have been working on during this period.
Okay, as we're wrapping up, Mr. Mle, what is your commitment to Ugandans, especially the ones who fly with Uganda Airlines?
Well, the airline is here. You have seen it work. Most of you have tested the product. It is your airline, and we are grateful for the support, which has been overwhelming, that the people of Uganda have given us during this first year.
Okay. Well, that is Mr. Cornwell Mleya, who happens to be the Chief Executive Officer of the Uganda Airlines. Sooner or later, we will be hitting again the skies and we'll be flying. Now, take us for a break and we'll be back shortly.